Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices like Coatl. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here, and today it's all about cool dragons. You're building the heads, the bodies, the tails, prophecies. You're trying to mix all these together, synergize, and try to get the most points. Today we're taking a look at Coatl, sort of a puzzly abstract game. Let me show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. Now the game comes with these really cool cloth bags, and inside are different pieces. Like we have heads of the dragons in these ones, we have the bodies of the dragons in these ones, and we have tails in these ones. So there's very nice quality bags and components in this game. Each player is going to get their own board where they're going to be placing these different dragon pieces that I talked about and kind of holding them here, but then they're going to use them to create dragons. And players start with some different cards which will do different things, and you'll also get some special tokens that you'll be able to use for actions throughout the game. There's also a board that has the body pieces around the outside, 2 tails and 2 heads. Now, on your turn you have just a few different choices. One of them is you can take pieces from here and add them to your board. When you take pieces, you take any 2 of the body pieces that are sort of together. So if I want to take these 2, I can take these 2. Or you could take a single head, or you could take a single tail. So when you're grabbing pieces, that's what you do, and then it would be the next player's turn. And you're always storing those in the spots on your board. You can't have more than 8. Another thing you do is take these prophecy cards. Everyone starts with a certain amount of these depending on where you are in turn order, and these are the cards that are really the main ways of scoring in the game. Because over the course of the game, you're going to be, creating dragons from those different pieces, and what you're trying to do is use these cards to score. You'll be able to use up to 4 of these cards to score on a single dragon. Like this one says, the black piece. Now, if you have 3 black pieces in your dragon, and it doesn't matter if it's a head, a tail, or a body, you get 2 points. But if you get all the way to 6 of them, you'll get 5 points. So if you have this card in your hand, well, you're going to be focusing on trying to create a black dragon. Now, you might be able to synergize it, like with this one, where this one is if you can only do this once, but if you have 2 black pieces, followed by 3 green pieces, that's going to give you 6 points. So, but that same dragon is also going to be able to score for this. And if this is all you did, you'd also, you need 1 more black piece, but you can synergize between cards, which is the idea here is you're trying to find the strategies from these cards and build dragons with them. So on your turn, you can take cards. Now you can have up to 5 in your hand, and so you can take as many as you want, either from here or from the pile, but you can't have more than 5 in your hand at the end of the turn. Now the other thing you can do, other than taking parts or taking cards, is you can try to start making your dragons. Now, if you can start a new one, and you can use that with any piece. I could be like this. I could start one dragon with this. I could even start a second dragon with this one. Up here, you can only have 2 incomplete dragons at once. But in this case, I'm going to keep going. So let's say I just built these, and that's all I did. On a future turn, when I want to add pieces, you can only add them to one of the ends. So you have to sort of work your way out. There's some strategy to doing that. But let's say I do this, and now I have a tail at the end. So I'm only going to be able to build on this end from now on. And so maybe I build this one now, and I just stop. Or I could start a second dragon with this one, and that would be a turn, for example. Now, over the course of the game, you can also place cards down to associate with a specific dragon, showing everyone how you're going to score that dragon. And you don't want to do that too much because you're going to tip your hand off to your opponents and they might be able to draft against you. But it's also going to relieve cards from your hand so that you can draw more as well. So when you complete a dragon, you'll look at the cards that you've placed, and you can place them and complete them in the same turn. And we're going to try to score this. Now you have to have at least 1 card down with this dragon to score it, but you can have up to 4. Now here we have this, I have 1, 2, 3 black pieces, so we're just going to get 2 points for that one. But this one we have 2 blacks followed by 3 greens, so we're going to get 6 points. So total here is we got 8 points. Now everyone starts with a temple card. You can use 1 temple card with a dragon as well. This one says has to be 9 pieces, and or the number of blues have to equal black. I have 1, 2, 3 blues, 1, 2, 3 blacks. So at this point, this card I've gotten 1 of the goals, it's 3 points. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total pieces. So I've gotten both goals, so that get me 7 additional points. So that's pretty cool. Now these cards are sort of just go under this dragon to show that you've completed a dragon, because when you complete your 3rd dragon, that will trigger the end of the game when any player does that. Now, in addition to this temple card that was secret in your hand, you got one at the beginning of the game, there's also 2 piles that are face up, and when you complete a dragon, you can actually use one of these, but it's sort of a race because anybody can see them and anybody can use one of those cards if they can score on it with any of the dragons that they complete too, so it's a little bit of a race there. And the drafting is sort of a race too, because when either all of the tails and heads are gone, or all of the body pieces are gone, the entire board gets filled up with the pieces, the corresponding pieces that need to be filled up. Now, in addition, you have 3 tokens. These are sort of you don't have to play with these, but I recommend you do. They give you sort of a one-time use that you can basically use, and that's your turn. So, for example, here's you can discard all of those cards, the prophecy cards that are in the in the face of supply and refill it, but you can also discard any number of cards from your hand and then you can draw them up. So this gives you a lot of flexibility in the cards, those scoring cards. Now those are the ones that are kind of like that there, that you were using when you were scoring up to 4 of those with any dragon. This allows you to draw any head, tail, or 2 body segments of your choice from the bag. So you have to pick anything you want, but then you have to resupply the entire board, which also helps your opponents. Now in here is you get to take one of those face-up temple cards that I showed you earlier that people are sort of possibly fighting over and trying to finish dragons for, and you get to essentially reserve it and put it in your hand so that you're able to be the only one to fulfill that later. That's pretty much it. As soon as someone finishes a 3rd dragon, you'll end up triggering the end of the game, and whoever has the most points at the end from all the dragons that they've made and the points they've scored is the winner. All right, well, there was Coatl. And I want to say, if you do like this video, I encourage you to hit the like button below, possibly make a comment, and subscribe to the channel below if you want to see other videos that I'm coming out with. Now, this game has cool dragon pieces. They're 3-dimensional, they're plastic, and they're lightweight, but they are cool looking. They have a lot of definition. And they definitely bring a lot of table presence to the game. It's definitely one of the cooler aspects of Coatl. Now, my favorite part of this game is you're trying to find synergies between the different prophecy cards. As I showed you in the overviews, hey, I've got this one card that does this, I've got this other card that does this, I could probably sneak in a 3rd card that I might get some points here, and you could play up to 4 of those cards per dragon. So once you score, hopefully you're doing better. And so it's cool to try to figure out how to synergize best those cards with your strategy, and you're going to be doing that on 3 different dragons, and so over the course of the game. So that's definitely the best part of that, is trying to puzzle that bit together. But you're also drafting, right? So you're drafting both the cards from other players, and you're drafting the pieces, the bodies, the tails, and the heads. And so that aspect has a high level of player interaction because you're watching what other players are taking. If they've played some cards down on their dragons already, then that's open information. You know what they're possibly going to be drafting for. Because you can see what tokens are on their board, you can see which ones are on the main board, and you can sort of draft against them. And so there's some player interaction with that too. You could totally play this game casual, just stare at your own board and not worry about anybody else. But the game is deeper if you look at what other players are doing and try to combat that at the same time as doing good for yourself. Now those temple cards are cool because they allow you to have, you get a secret one from the beginning, or you can use that special token, to get a secret one, or you can sort of try to get one that is open, but again, more player interaction that other players might get that from you too. So you can also look at what dragons other players are building, and you can look at those and be like, is someone going to take that one? Well, they might only get one of those 2, but they're still going to take it when they close their dragon because I'm going to be able to get 2 of them. They don't want that. So again, cool aspects there of racing towards some of those. And that brings us to the special tokens, which are, like they do allow you to sort of reserve one of those cards or take the pieces that you really need from the bag, things like that, or get rid of a bunch of your cards and get new ones. So those give you some good flexibility in the game. It says that's in the rulebook. It says this, you don't have to play with those. I would highly recommend you do because it really gives the game a lot more flexibility and some more interest to it. So overall, the game was fine. It worked. There wasn't anything that I strongly disliked about the game. But for me, this is sort of in that puzzly genre of like a Sagrada or Azul or things like that. And I love that genre. I love puzzly abstract games. And this one, again, was fine, looks cool on the table, everything works. There wasn't anything I felt that didn't work. But in the end, this game was just okay for me. It's fine. And I know it's always supposed to compare one game to another game, but even on its own, it wasn't one after done playing this, you're not gonna be like, I can't wait to play it again, or at least I wasn't. So it's one of those games, even after multiple plays, sure, the plays are gonna feel different because of just the puzzly nature of the cards and the pieces and all that sort of stuff. But for a game, there's so many games coming out these days, this one was fine. It's serviceable, I enjoyed it. If you were really into it and you're like, hey, I wanna play this, no problem. I play it with you and I'd enjoy it. But it's not one that I feel like is standing out from the pack and is a standout in the genre. And not for any specific reason. It just doesn't do it. It's hard to explain. But everything that it did do, it did okay. It did fine. So not a great one, not a terrible one, just sort of middle of the road for me here, and that's Coatl. Game Toppers not only transforms your existing table to a high-quality gaming solution, they now offer full leg kits and dining cover solutions for the full table application. Paired with their amazing thematic premium stitched edge mats, collapsible cup holders, and really cool accessories, it is a complete system that upgrades every game you play. Get in on the goodness of Game Toppers 3.0 on Kickstarter now. Click the link below or go to GameToppersLLC.com.